in a quiet, emerald-green forest, where the moonbeams dappled the mossy ground, a young fox named Finn dreamed of seeing the city lights. Every night he'd climb to the highest hill, his amber eyes fixed on the distant, pulsing glow that painted the horizon. It was a world entirely different from his own, a world of man-made stars that never faded with the dawn. He imagined what it would be like to walk among those towering structures, to feel the hum of that strange, vibrant life. The forest was all he had ever known, a symphony of rustling leaves, chirping crickets, and the gentle hoot of the owl. But his heart yearned for a different kind of music, the unknown melody of the city. "The forest is our home. It's safe," his mother would whisper, her voice as soft as the cool night air, as she nuzzled him close in their cozy den. The city is dangerous, my little one. It's a place of loud noises and fast-moving metal beasts, not for creatures like us." Shil would tell him tales passed down through generations. Stories of foxes who had ventured into the human world and never returned. Tales meant to keep him tethered to the familiar comfort of the woods. He would listen, nodding his head, but the warnings only fanned the flames of his curiosity. The danger she spoke of sounded like an adventure, and the safety of the forest sometimes felt like a cage, however beautiful. But dreams, especially the ones that burn the brightest, aren't born to stay safe. They are wild things, meant to be chased and realized. One evening, as he watched a swarm of fireflies dance in the twilight, he saw them not as insects, but as tiny, wandering stars. Each one a possibility, a spark of courage. He realized that staying in the forest, forever wondering what if, was a different kind of danger, the danger of a life unlived, of a spirit unfulfilled. His mother's love was a warm blanket, but his dream was a compass, and it was pointing far beyond the line. The fear was there, and not in his stomach, but the pull of the unknown was stronger. So, under the cloak of a moonless night, Finn began his journey. He crossed rushing rivers, the cold water a shock against his warm fur, testing his resolve with its powerful current. He learned to leap and scramble, climbing over splintery wooden fences that marked the boundary between his world and theirs. Each obstacle was a lesson, each step a victory. Finally, after days of travel, he emerged from the last patch of woodland and stood, breathless, at the edge of the bright city. Neon lights bled into the night sky, casting an ethereal glow on everything. The distant hum he had only imagined was now a roar in his ears, a symphony of life, energy, and endless motion. He took a deep breath, the city air sharp and unfamiliar, and stepped onto the pavement, his heart pounding with a mixture of terror and pure, unadulterated wonder. Cars roared past him like metallic predators, their headlights cutting through the darkness. People rushed by in a blur of color and motion, their faces illuminated by the glow of their phones, their conversations a cacophony of languages he couldn't understand. The city never slept. It was a living, breathing entity, a giant heart that pulsed with relentless energy. Finn darted between alleyways, his senses on high alert. He saw his reflection in the vast glass windows of skyscrapers, a small, wild creature in a world of concrete and steel. The smells were overwhelming, the sweet scent of street food, the acrid tang of exhaust fumes, the faint perfume of a passerby. It was everything his mother had warned him about, and yet it was more magnificent than he had ever dared to dream. In this concrete jungle, Finn learned a new kind of survival. He discovered that humans, for all their noise and haste, could also be kind. An old woman left a bowl of water for him in her garden, and a child once tossed him a piece of bread from a balcony. Their eyes meeting for a brief, magical moment of connection. He learned the rhythm of the city, when the streets were quietest, and where the best hiding spots were. He found a small, forgotten park, a tiny oasis of green amidst the grey, that reminded him of home. The city was indeed dangerous, but it was also full of unexpected beauty and small acts of grace. He wasn't just surviving, he was living, truly living, in a way he never could have in the forest. One day, while exploring a quiet residential street, he saw something that made him pause. Through the window of a house, he saw a family gathered around a fireplace, their laughter echoing warmly into the night. It was a scene of such peace and belonging that a pang of longing shot through him. He thought of his mother, of the familiar scent of their den, of the comforting weight of his siblings sleeping beside him. He had chased his dream across rivers and fences, and he had found the magic he was looking for. But now, he realized that the city lights, as dazzling as they were, couldn't warm him like the love of his family. The adventure had been incredible, but it had also shown him what he had left behind. His journey back was different. He moved with a newfound confidence, the lessons of the city etched into his being. The rivers didn't seem as daunting, the fences not as high. When he finally smelled the familiar scent of pine and damp earth, a wave of relief washed over him. He saw the soft glow of moonlight filtering through the trees, a light far gentler than any neon sign. His mother was there, waiting at the edge of the woods, her eyes filled with worry and love. When she saw him, safe and sound, she didn't scold him. She simply nuzzled him close, her warmth chasing away the last of the city's chill. Finn was home, but he was not the same young fox who had left. He carried the city within him, the roar of the cars, the flash of the lights, the memory of a child's smile. He looked at the forest with new eyes, appreciating its peace and safety in a way he never had before. He had learned that bravery isn't about the absence of fear, but about pursuing your dreams despite it. And he had learned that home isn't just a place you are from. It's the love you return to. The city lights still twinkled on the horizon, but they no longer called to him with the same desperate urgency. They were simply a beautiful part of a much bigger world, a world he was now brave enough to explore, knowing he always had a safe, warm den to come back to. And so, the young fox who had dreamed of seeing the city lights now dreamed of new things, of the stars above the tallest trees, of the world beyond the next valley, and of the comforting feeling of being exactly where he was meant to be. His adventure had taught him the most important lesson of all, that the biggest dreams don't require you to leave everything behind, but rather they give you a new perspective to appreciate the love and safety of home. He was a creature of two worlds now, the wild forest and the bright city, and in that he found a unique and beautiful balance, a story all his own. Thank you so much for watching Finn's journey with us. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more tales of adventure and discovery. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, keep dreaming big.